I didn't believe the first voicemail. It came in at 2:17 a.m., right in the middle of my shift. A woman's voice, shaky, whispering, "Please, if someone's there, I'm inside the mall. He locked the doors, I can't get out." Then, breathing. Wet, terrified breathing. Then nothing. The timestamp on the call said it had been left 12 minutes earlier. The thing was, I was the only one inside the mall, and I hadn't locked anyone in. I took the night security job because I needed something quiet. After my divorce, I couldn't sleep anyway. The apartment felt too empty. My ex-wife took the dog, most of the furniture, and any sense of warmth the place ever had. Nights stretched out like open highways with no exits. So when a buddy told me the old Westfield Galleria needed overnight security, 12-hour shifts, 7 p.m. to 7 a.m., I figured why not? Walk some halls, drink coffee, collect a paycheck. The mall had been dying for years. Half the stores were empty. The food court had 3 places left: a pretzel stand, a Chinese takeout joint that only opened weekends, and a coffee kiosk that looked permanently closed. Corporate kept saying, renovation plans pending, but everyone knew it was on life support. Still, it was massive. 2 floors, long corridors with skylights overhead, department stores at each end like anchors on a sinking ship. At night, it was different. Sound carried strangely. Every footstep echoed. The air system hummed like distant machinery in a submarine. Occasionally, something metallic would pop as the building cooled. You'd be surprised how loud silence can get. My routine was simple. Check the exterior doors, walk the perimeter of each level, make sure no one was hiding in bathrooms or stockrooms, log everything in the system, sit in the security office and watch the camera feeds. The first week was uneventful. The second week, I started noticing things. Not big things, just small ones. A storefront gate slightly raised when I was certain I'd seen it fully closed earlier. A light flickering inside an abandoned shoe store. A door to the maintenance hallway that didn't latch properly unless you slammed it. Normal building stuff, I told myself. Old places shift, metal expands and contracts, locks wear down. I'd worked construction before. Buildings make noise, but they don't leave voicemails. The night the message came in started like any other. I packed a turkey sandwich, a thermos of coffee, and a paperback I'd been pretending to read. I clocked in at 6:53 p.m. The evening guard, Marcus, gave me the usual rundown. Nothing crazy. Alarm panel glitched around 4. Reset it. Which zone? Zone 12, East Entrance. That was the entrance near the old Macy's. It hadn't been used in years. Probably wiring, I said. Probably. He left. The automatic doors sealed with a thud behind him. By 9:30 p.m., the mall was dark, except for emergency lighting and a few dim corridor lamps left on to deter vandalism. The skylights showed a black sky. No moon. Outside, wind brushed against the glass like fingertips. Around midnight, I did my usual sweep. Everything was secure. 1:15 a.m., I was back in the security office watching the monitors. 32 camera feeds, most of them static shots of empty hallways. That's when my phone buzzed. Unknown number. I almost ignored it. Telemarketers sometimes got my number wrong. It went to voicemail. A few seconds later, another buzz. New voicemail. I played it. The whisper, the breathing, then silence. I replayed it 3 times. The background sounded hollow, echoey, like a large space, like the mall. My first thought was prank call. Teenagers sometimes tried to break in. Maybe someone left a message hoping to freak out security, but the timestamp didn't make sense. 12 minutes earlier. If someone was inside, How had I not seen them on the cameras? I checked the feeds. Every hallway was empty, food court empty, escalators still, bathrooms clear. I told myself to stay calm. If someone really was trapped, I needed to verify. I grabbed my flashlight and radio. Control to self, I muttered, trying to lighten the tension, checking interior. My voice sounded thin in the empty office. The mall felt different that night. It's hard to explain. The air felt heavier, like before a storm. I walked toward the east entrance first, Zone 12, the one Marcus said had glitched. The corridor lights flickered faintly as I passed. My boots echoed too loud. "Hello?" I called out. My voice stretched down the hallway and came back distorted. Nothing. The east entrance doors were locked. I checked them twice. No scratches, no sign of forced entry. I turned to leave and caught something in the reflection of the glass. Movement. I spun around. Empty hallway. But my pulse didn't slow down. I told myself it was just my reflection lagging in the dim light. I went upstairs next. That's when I heard it. A metallic clatter, like a gate slamming shut. It came from the far end, near the
old toy store. I moved faster. When I reached it, the storefront gate was halfway down. I was certain it had been fully open earlier. It was one of the vacant spaces used for storage. I shined my flashlight inside. Boxes. Dust. Nothing else. But the gate chain was swaying slightly, like it had just been touched. I stepped inside. "Security," I called. "If someone's here, you need to respond." Silence. The kind that presses against your ears. I checked behind the boxes, in the back stockroom. Nothing. When I came back out, the gate was fully down, locked. I stared at it. I hadn't touched it. My hands felt cold. Okay, I thought. Mechanical failure. Spring tension. Still. I logged it in my notepad. Time, 1:52 a.m., unusual gate movement. I went back to the office. At 2:17 a.m., my phone buzzed again. Same number. I answered this time. "Hello?" Breathing. Soft. Close to the microphone. "Ma'am," I said. "This is mall security. If you're inside, tell me where you are." A pause. Then, "He's walking." My stomach dropped. "Who's walking?" Silence. Then a whisper. "Don't let him see you." The line went dead. I stood frozen. The cameras. I spun toward the monitors. Every hallway still empty. Except one. Camera 14. Second floor, near the old cinema entrance. There was movement. A shadow crossing the frame. I leaned closer. The resolution wasn't great. The lighting dim. But I saw it clearly. A person. Tall, wearing dark clothing, walking slowly down the corridor. I felt a rush of adrenaline. Finally, someone real. I grabbed the radio. "Unidentified person on second floor," I muttered, even though there was no one listening. I ran. Up the escalator 2 steps at a time. When I reached the corridor, it was empty. No footsteps. No echo. Just stillness. I checked camera 14 on my phone's security app. The hallway was blank. The timestamp showed the figure had passed through 2 minutes earlier, but there was nowhere to go. The cinema doors were chained shut. The side exits locked. Unless? Maintenance access. There was a service door halfway down the hall that led to the utility corridors behind the stores. I walked toward it slowly. The door was slightly ajar. It had never been ajar before. I pushed it open. The maintenance hallway was narrow, concrete, and poorly lit. Exposed pipes ran along the ceiling. The air smelled like dust and something sour. I stepped inside. The door swung shut behind me with a heavy thud. I flinched. "Hello?" I called. No answer. But I heard something else. A faint dragging sound. Further down the corridor, like something heavy being pulled. I followed it. Every instinct told me to turn back. The sound stopped abruptly. At the end of the hallway was a storage room. Door closed. I stood there, breathing hard. Then I heard it. From inside. A muffled sob. My hand trembled as I reached for the handle. I opened the door. The room was empty, except for a phone on the floor. Screen cracked. Still on. The call screen showed my number. Call duration. 0043. My heart slammed against my ribs. Someone had been here seconds ago. I bent down to pick up the phone. It was warm. A message notification popped up on the screen. Unknown contact. He's behind you. I didn't turn around. I couldn't, because I realized something worse. There had been no service in this part of the building for years. Concrete walls blocked signals. Even my own phone had 0 bars. The call couldn't have happened here. Slowly, I forced myself to look behind me. The hallway was empty. But at the far end, I noticed something new. A door I'd never seen before. Slightly open. A faint yellow light inside. I was certain that door hadn't been there earlier. I approached it cautiously. Inside was a small office. Old desk, folding chair, and a wall of monitors. Older models, connected to wired cameras. Every feed showed different angles of the mall. Not the official security cameras. These were hidden. Bathrooms, dressing rooms, employee break areas. My stomach turned. In the corner of the room was a sleeping bag, food wrappers, water bottles. Someone had been living here, watching. I felt exposed, like every step I'd taken for the past 2 weeks had been observed. Then I saw it. On one of the monitors. Live feed. Me. Standing in that room. Filmed from above. I looked up. A small black camera blinked red from the ceiling vent. I stumbled back. That's when I heard the heavy door slam at the end of the maintenance hallway, trapping me in. Footsteps. Slow. Deliberate. Approaching. Not running. Not rushed. Just certain. I grabbed the cracked phone from the floor and dialed 911. No signal. The footsteps stopped right outside the office door. Silence. Then a calm male voice. "You weren't supposed to find this." I didn't respond. "I've been here a long time."